Hi guys, it's Derin here. Welcome back to my channel, or if you're a new viewer, welcome to my channel. My name is Derin and I guess you could say I'm a lifestyle channel. I literally don't even know what to say my channel is anymore because I'm no longer Beauty by Derin, which is, if you're new, my old username. So I guess I'm a lifestyle channel, but I basically just make university videos, life in London, London College of Fashion, vegan life, so I guess you can just call it whatever. But if you guys would like to see any types of those videos, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But as you can see with the title, today's video is a study related one. I'm going to be sharing my final last minute revision tips for exams. Regardless of what age you are, pretty much everyone is going through some sort of exam season, whether or not it's uni exams, A-levels, GCSEs, so pretty much all in the same boat and understand the pain of exams. So I've put together my top last minute revision tips for you guys in today's video, and I really hope you guys enjoy it. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and jump straight into the video. Okay, so the first tip in today's video when revising last minute for your exams is to basically only focus, oh I just got a text message, is to basically prioritise revising your weak points. When you only have a few days leading up towards your exams, time is so important, and so rather than picking up your revision guide and trying to get through every single thing in the space of like 3 days, which is pretty much, well, it's not impossible, but it is very difficult to do, I would recommend just going to the chapters that contain topics that you're a bit unsure about and topics that you don't tend to do as well in when you do like practice questions. Just focus your time revising those, because it's likely that those questions that you're struggling with are the more difficult questions, and that's what people tend to put in the exams. They don't like to just treat us with those nice 2 markers. Examples like to throw in the topics that everyone struggles with, so I would recommend focusing your time on those topics, and then once you've covered all of your weak points and hopefully have gotten stronger in them, then if you have time you can go over all of the topics that you're already confident with. But 9 times out of 10, if you are confident with a topic and you've learnt it properly, it should already be in your head. So I feel like that's why I don't really spend my time focusing on topics that I know I'm confident about, because if I see a question relating to it in an exam, it's likely that I won't even have to think about it that much because the information is stored in my brain, as opposed to those weaker topics that require a bit more time. So yeah, focus on weak points first. The second tip that I recommend for last minute revision is one of my favourites, and it's something that I mentioned in my last study video, I believe. By the way, if you guys are new, I have a whole study playlist on my channel which has like 12 or something videos related to revision tips, exam tips, productivity, all of that. So if you guys haven't checked that out already, I'll have it linked down below in the description box. But yeah, in my last video I mentioned how much I love group study sessions, particularly in the very last lead up towards exams. So the reason why group study sessions are so important is because it allows everyone in the group to share their own revision materials, and because everyone has different ways of revising, everyone has different revision guides, different textbooks, when you revise in a massive group with all of these different resources, you usually end up finding out so much more information because everyone has different sources. And also when you're able to have a discussion with other people about a topic, I feel like it helps bring everything full circle, and you guys can ask each other questions, teach each other, I can't say that, what the hell, I'm trying to say teach each other stuff. That's a bit of a tongue twister, isn't it? Teach each other stuff. Okay. I find that it's just a really great way to consolidate everything and go over your topic from start to finish in a nice, concise manner. I tend to do these group sessions as the last thing before an exam because it allows you to go over everything in the morning, so it stays fresh in your head, ready for exam later that day. So what I used to do was go to Starbucks with my friends, grab some breakfast, we'd spend like 2 hours going over the exam and then make our way to it, so that everything is just fresh in your mind and you've gone over the entire syllabus from start to finish. Tip number 3 is just like a basic last minute exam thing, and it's to basically prep everything the night before. It will just make your life so much easier because you don't have to wake up worrying like where's your pencil case, where's your bag, la 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 la. All of those really like insignificant things can just be done the night before, so that on the morning of your exam you just focus, you're not worrying about minor things, you can just get your head in the game and crack on with revision. Tip number 4 is something that I feel not that many people utilise, but everyone that I know who does well in school, and like this is what I used to do as well, would always go over the mark schemes as if they are revision guides, because essentially each year the questions in exams are pretty much repeated. I know that there is the new A-levels, the new GCSEs, but like if you're studying biology, there is a set syllabus for biology, and usually there are certain questions each year that tend to repeat themselves. And so if you familiarise yourself with the mark schemes of past papers and you realise that like what is the topic? For example, the carbon cycle comes up every year and it's like a 6 marker. Then by familiarising yourself with the mark schemes, I personally like to print them out and just highlight them. Then you're able to see what exactly awards you marks. And so I find that this is a really great way of learning exam technique, because it allows you to know what your examiner is looking for, what they're going to accept, what they're going to reject. So it just allows you to go into your exam knowing what to write. It just gives you a lot more direction and clarity when answering questions, and hopefully allows you to save time because you're not waffling and you know exactly what to write. So yeah, that really works well if you're doing subjects like science that are really specific with their mark schemes. But if you are doing an essay writing subject like philosophy or English literature, then another way that you can do this is look at past model essays. Look at those online. They have like previous work from each year that have been marked by examiners, and then it gives you feedback underneath. So I definitely look at that as well. I think they're like the sample materials, but those are really, really helpful in gaining an understanding of what other people have written, even get some ideas of what to write, and also see how the marks were allocated. Moving on to tip number 5, this is something that I preach before you actually walk into your exam, like 2 minutes before you walk into your exam, when everyone's lining up in the corridor, you're all waiting, everyone's nervous, and then someone goes, oh my gosh, wait, how do you do this? And then everyone panics and they're like, oh my gosh, is that how you do it? And everyone's like, no, this is how you do it, that's how you do it. And it's just a chaos before you walk into your exam. My best advice is to just not participate in those conversations, because you're all going to confuse each other. I remember before maths, someone was asking how to do a certain equation or whatever, and 3 people had 3 different ways of doing it, and as a result everyone walked into that exam so nervous because everyone was doubting themselves. But like I mentioned with the group revision, everyone revises from different sources, everyone has different ways of doing things, so just because one person might say that they do something this way doesn't then mean that that's the only way to do it. And so honestly, I'd say as far away as possible from people that are doing that before the exam, because it just puts you in the completely wrong mindset when you're going in, because I feel like it definitely knocks your confidence a bit and has you very doubtful, which you don't need, because when doing your exams you have to be as positive as possible and get in the right mindset. And then finally, moving on to tip number 6, is quite an odd number to like end this video on. I usually either do 5 or 10, but I still wanted to include this anyways because it's something that I learned at like a learning workshop that our school did for us, and it's actually a technique, it's a breathing technique called 7-11 breathing. I'm so sorry guys for all of these tips being so random, but they are all beneficial, trust me. So before doing an exam, I feel like when everyone is just like in silence waiting for the exam to start, that's when the nerves really rack up and build up. So one thing that we were taught is 7-11 breathing. It's basically a breathing technique that genuinely just makes you feel so calm and so chilled out when you're nervous, and it's something that you don't even have to do just for exams. You could just do it whenever you have a bit of anxiety or if you're nervous. And so the breathing technique is basically that you breathe in for 7 counts and then you breathe out for 11 counts. So it allows you to take really deep breaths and really control your breathing, and I feel like when you do this for about a minute or 2, it really just helps to relax you. And whilst you're doing the breathing, you can also just give yourself like a little pep talk, tell yourself that you've got this and that you're an intelligent, smart person and that you're going to smash this exam. So yeah, if you're someone that gets nervous before exams like I do, I would 100% recommend this breathing technique. Apparently like loads of Olympic athletes use it and a lot of successful people use it. Well, that's what they told us anyways. I for myself can definitely vouch for this and say that it is so beneficial, and I would definitely recommend it. So yeah, those are my 6 last minute revision tips for exams. Again, a very random number of tips to give, but I mean, here we are. So I really hope you guys enjoyed watching this video, and I'm really wishing you guys all of the best with your exams. Let me know in the comments down below the exam you're most nervous about. But honestly, I'm sure you're going to smash it, and if you guys use any of these tips and like them, make sure to tweet it to me. My Twitter is at Derin Adetosoye, and if you guys want to message me, you can always DM me on my Instagram at Derin Adetosoye as well. Alternatively, you could just Snapchat me at Hey Derin. But yeah, that is the end of today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you all so much, and I'll see you guys in my next video, which is actually tomorrow. Bye!